This is AP Biology. It's really fun.
AP Bio, we cover a lot of different topics, including these 5, which are the major ones.
Ecology, evolution, biochem, genetics, and cellular structure and function. Alright, ecology has to do a lot with the environment, and it has to do with population densities and stuff like that. And it's basically based on the idea of like our environment and like the organisms and how they interact with it. And you get to learn about a lot of different things like the relationship organisms have and abiotic and biotic factors, and it's really
Another topic we covered really in depth was evolution. Evolution is a study of the development of species. We learned about different types of speciation, allopatric and sympatric, and originally some of the terms seemed pretty hard, but for the most part it was a really interesting unit, and we learned through the book Your Inner Fish how we started from different fish and we evolved from small unicellular organisms into the complex human beings we are now. And it was a really interesting unit because it was cool to see all the different species that may have been one species at a certain time and had divergent evolution and became different species, or species that ended up living in the same place and through convergent evolution became similar, even though they at one point were not the same species. So overall, evolution was a really cool unit, and it provided a lot of helpful information if you are looking to study species development and evolution.
All right, biochemistry has to do with the chemical level of organisms, and there's 4 main biomolecules, macromolecules, and it's lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, and nucleic acids. And lipids are things like steroids and there's fatty acids, and those contribute to how organisms function and live and survive. And protein also goes with that too. Carbs also are very important for organisms to store energy for short-term use, and lipids are long-term use. And nucleic acids stored genetic material, so it's very important to understand biochemistry to understand how organisms function at the chemical level rather than the big picture. This is more like the small picture, the very small picture.
Genetics was definitely a harder unit, but I found it one of the most interesting. From Mendelian genetics to molecular genetics, it was interesting because there were a lot of things that we didn't cover in freshman year honors bio. Even though we did do genetics, we only learned the basic Mendelian genetics and patterns of inheritance and things along those lines. But when we did molecular genetics, I learned a lot about different genetic diseases, which was really interesting. And it's a really useful topic if you are looking to study research or molecular biology. You can come up with different, it's basically if you want to cure cancer or cure genetic diseases. This unit provides a lot of good information on what causes different genetic diseases, all the different mutations, and how genes are passed from parents to offspring. And it's something I never knew before, and I found it really interesting.
Cellular structure and function is you learn a lot about it in honors bio, but when you get to AP bio, you go into a lot more in depth. In honors bio it's pretty easy, but it gets a lot harder in AP bio because you get to learn more about how the organelles interact with each other, the electron transport train and all that. There's a lot of stuff that's very interesting, and you have to join AP bio to find more about it. Alright, at the start of the year you get to do an experiment on pill bugs where you create your own experiment and hypothesis, and it's just open up the year with teaching you how to use the experimental method and learn how to do experiments for the rest of the year.
We also did an experiment with duckweed, which was disgusting, so I recommend you bring nose plugs or something, or just make your partner do it because it was really gross. Don't touch it. But it's also really cool because you learn a lot of cool things about water and the environment that different plants live in, and we studied a lot of different things with just one simple nasty looking substance, but it was really cool because there was a lot of different things you could learn from it that I didn't know we could do. And we also got to go to the zoo a couple weeks ago, which was really fun, and I really liked it because normally when I go to the zoo I look at the cute giraffes, but there's a lot more that I know now about animals and the way they interact with each other in their environment, and this class has taught me a lot of different cool things that has opened my eyes to different animals.
Alright, we're also taking a trip to the Richardson Center to like create your own experiment, like creating samples and using microscopes and stuff. And it's really just to wrap up the year with like a good strong experiment, like show everything that you've learned throughout the year and demonstrate it in a fun experiment.